Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it's, what the heck is it?
It's the Hump Day Happy Hour.
There you go. That is
like it is every week at 7:30.
That's true. Actually, if it's a Wednesday, it must be item specific day.
I think I threw you off by not doing that shot today.
Yeah, so a little every time before we go on the air, he comes over a little bit early and we do a shot together. He came over today and said that his stomach was upset a little bit. He wasn't going to do a shot. Totally threw me off. I ended up doing a shot of Yamazaki, and it was good.
Maybe you should have done both shots.
I probably should have for the looks of it. But no, if it's Wednesday, I think it's item specifics day.
Great.
I did that again. I think I'm down to 108 item specifics. I'm flying through them all though, but they're only in a couple of categories.
Should I be doing those at all? Oh, you said I don't have to. The categories.
Yeah, the categories you really. I mean, sure you've got things. You probably as many as I have, just accidentally. But I don't. It's such a small portion of your overall sales. I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, and I think moving forward, as long as we're doing it moving forward, I think we're good to go.
Yeah. And shout out to good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter. After us, he's got Cha-Chingathon.
Nice.
And we got a few people who did show up.
Michael was first in line today, followed by Lori. Michael was after Lori again in third place. Rock and roll resale.
He won the gold and the bronze.
Don's in the house. I love the Don. Hey-o! I feel like I got the shot. Eric, here like always. AJ13 Sales, how's it going? And Eric is back again, saying hi to Don. Michael Sanborn's here.
Wow.
SM Postcards, how's it going? Aaron's Whitmore's here nice and early. What's up, buddy? And John Jones, like normal.
Nice. Thanks for the play-by-play on that over there. Oh, and we've got a random hand coming in here moving the microphone. Amazing.
Oh, Rupert, and a little bit Pugs.
Very good. Wanted to
hold on. Sensible Treasures here. How's it going? Nice to see you.
So I wanted to let everybody know my father's actually out of the hospital. Nice. They released him and everything. I went down to Cleveland. I was able to see my mother and my sister, but I was not outside. We all went outside, talked outside because my sister had been around my father. But my father was released, so no problems all with that. So that's good. Sometimes people, especially if they're coming from other countries and that kind of thing, they get the fake COVID test that says they're fine when they come over. Right. My dad actually, I think, went the other way. He got the fake test that said he had it just so he didn't have to see me.
That's good. That's
pretty good thinking.
What's that cost in case I need to invest in one of those?
I'm still coming by.
Can you overnight them?
I'm still coming by. You're stuck with me. What are you going to do about that? We want to thank everybody, too, for putting up with us. The last couple of weeks have been a little disjointed. I think we're back together. This show here, although it's not showing so far, I think we're going to do a great job on it over here.
So we will see.
Head on into the weekly updates. Want to know how everybody's sales are out there. And I want to kind of ask everybody out there, how your sales are. Are they good? I'm going to ask you in a moment, so hold your horses.
Yeah, thanks.
Are they good? Are they slow? I know Auction Professor was saying that a lot of his sales are a little bit slow right now, and he's blaming item specifics for it. But I also want to ask a question to everybody out there. Anybody who's like us, and I'm going to ask you this question as well. If you're long tail, what are you noticing selling? And let me turn it over to you, specifically eBay. What are you noticing selling? Are you noticing a pattern, I guess is my question.
Yeah, I'm noticing the pattern on Sundays. Nothing is selling, nothing at all. And I shot you a text, I think, after you got in or an email. And surprisingly, the Saturdays were bad. This last Saturday for eBay and Amazon were really low for me. Sunday was low for eBay, like normal, extremely low. And then it picked up right again. So it seems like during the week it's great. Weekends are slow. But for me, on both platforms, I'm selling a lot of $6 to $10 items.
Okay, that kind of ties into what I was going to say. I've raised my prices as time goes along, obviously. Yeah. I've got things on, like, for instance, I sold a paperback book the other day that I was asking $9.10 for it on eBay. Right. I would never list it at that now. Somebody offered me $6. Well, it's been up since 2010. So what do you think I did?
Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Bye-bye. I sold it. That was back when I was charging shipping. So I ended up getting $9 out of the paperback book. But I'm noticing a lot of things are selling that I listed 2010.
Older items. I'm selling a lot of older items and cheaper items. And
yes,
I don't want to take it, but I want to get rid of them. So I'll take the low offer.
Yeah. So I wanted to know if anybody else out there, if both of us are having that, are you noticing that lower price items are selling a lot lately? And are you noticing that older items are selling? And again, I sold something from 2008, 2010, a lot of 2014. And it's funny because today's sales aren't too bad.
Right.
But I keep track. I've kept track since 2019 where I bought the item at. If I bought it in 2019, 2020, 2021, and then I fill it out into my spreadsheet.
Right.
I didn't even have to open the 2020 or 2019 spreadsheets until just before we went on air. So all day long, I hadn't sold anything from 2019 or 2020. Right. I was selling stuff from 2017, 2015. Yeah. So it's very odd. I mean, it's good. I'm glad to get the stuff out of there.
Right.
The downside of it is I'm doing a lot more work right now.
Yeah.
Because if I'm selling two $10 items, whereas
I'd rather sell
less profit, but I'm moving the stuff out and it's getting, what else am I going to do with it? I listed it for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, if sales were high and I would be countering these $6, $7 offers and trying to get 9, 10, I'm just taking them now. I'm like, let's get rid of it. Even if I break even, I'm getting rid of old merchandise. I can move on. So.
Yeah. The Browns game was actually a good game. They ended up winning. It was, raining a little bit, but not too bad over there. They had the backup quarterback in and they still won the game. The only crazy thing about it's first time I'd ever been to a Browns game. Parking around the stadium is non-existent. Yeah. It's really hard to find anywhere to park. And it took about 45 minutes to go about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles on the highway. They had like every exit closed. And of course, my buddy had Waze and it's telling him to get off here. And I was like, oh, police presence ahead. And he's from New York City. So he's like, he's screaming at the cops. I'm going, yeah, that's going to help. That's really going to help.
I would imagine every stadium's probably like that.
Yeah. This was probably about the worst I've ever seen. I think one of the big problems with the stadium is it's basically on the lake. So that takes away an entire way of getting into the stadium and an entire way of parking. Whereas a lot of stadiums, you can park all around it. There, you can only park south of it. So, but it was good. It was good. Thank you for asking.
It looks like everyone's agreeing they're all slow. AJ13 slow. Michelle's slow. Postcards look like they're no ups, no downs. Sundays suck with Eric, just like for me. So, yeah, we have a pattern here. We do have a pattern. There is a pattern. John, sales have been slow this week. Yeah.
See, now that's crazy. Only because my sales actually are staying. They're staying pretty level. I cannot argue about that. I'm actually probably selling more items, but again, they're the lower priced items.
Right. Yeah.
Now, one trick that I did when I left, and I think you may want to think about doing this at some point. I think a lot of people out there may want to do this. If for some reason you can't list every day, I did list a week ago. Thursday was when I ended up leaving, and I listed a whole bunch of stuff Thursday morning, and then I took 3 items and I scheduled them to list Friday, and I took 3 items and scheduled them to list Saturday, knowing I'd be back listing on Sunday.
Right.
So I ended up listing every day, and it cost 10 cents an item to list them that way. But every single day I had items listing. Now I know a lot of people don't do that, don't want to do that, but I figured for, I spent 60 cents and I kept, who cares, 60 cents on that. And I kept listing every day as far as eBay was concerned. So it's something other to think about.
Strategy going on.
Maybe try it because you don't have anybody listing on Sundays, right?
Not on eBay, no.
So maybe
even Saturdays hardly.
So maybe on Friday, grab one lister and say, hey, use this scheduled and list the last 6 items, list the last 3 for Saturday on eBay and the next 3 on Sunday for eBay. It's worth a try because maybe you do need the consistency. True. And then you can report back to us and let us know if that worked. And if it did, eBay will be getting a lot of people using the dime.
It's worth a shot. Anything will help on those piddly weekends.
There you go. Hats and golf club head covers. Okay, that's good to know. I've got, I think, 10 or 12 hats listed and no golf club covers.
I like to put a golf club cover over something.
Nice.
All right.
Not in the categories they jacked up, unfortunately. Okay. Most items are the ones they destroyed. Yeah, see, and I think that a lot of people are running into that. I know last week Don had mentioned that Popeye's Postcards was having a lot of trouble too, and he's a big postcard seller with that. So who knows what the heck they've done. Some of those things selling. Yeah, so I definitely, I don't know why. I don't know if they're trying to clear stuff out. Clear stuff out before the holidays. Who knows? Any buys? Anybody out there get any buys?
I bought for some reason lots of vintage G.I. Joes and Barbies. I had about 2 or 3 deals in the last week.
Oh wow,
which is good. Some really early dolls from Barbie and G.I. Joe, accessories, all that jazz. So I'm gonna hold off right now, until it gets closer to Christmas, and make sure my listers can little more difficult because of the condition, the value. You want to do it right, making sure if they're talking GI Joes, they work and so forth. So I'll go over there with them in the next couple.
Well,
of
it's, aren't the bar, and I don't know a lot about Barbies, but isn't it like, don't you check to see where it was made at and all that stuff?
You gotta get yep. So obviously the years may not make so much difference because they use the same molds, but you can tell by that, the eyelashes and so forth. So we'll do some research and down the road there. But I counted it today. We have potentially 7 big deals in the works before the end of the year. 2 huge toy collections. One's out of state, one's local. 3 huge magazine deals, all out of state. And then our Ohio connection for the monster collection. He's got 2 monster collections that he's been working on for the last year. So hopefully we're going to get, even we score 3-4 out of them by the end of the year. That's still huge. These are massive deals, like tens of thousands of dollars each. So,
well, to be honest, you don't need any of them. So
I told you about that one today that I really don't want, but I had a number in my mind. I think it's fair, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Well, I did get a call from he got my name from somebody we mutually know, and he's got some magazines from the 80s and 90s, 3 banana boxes filled. Wow. Okay. Some magazines, some calendars, but a lot of like the local automobile dealer calendars, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I guess some old books from 1910s and 1920s. So if I end up picking that up, what I'll probably do is grab the books and flip it to you for cost, so I get the books for my time.
Yeah, I would actually buy them for the banana boxes because we actually threw ours out, and now one of my employees needs them to put calendars into these listed. We have nowhere to put them. So,
well, I may be able to get you 3 of them.
Perfect. Maybe just some of the banana box and throw the calendars in for free.
There you go. I can work with that. We'll put it on a bolo video.
Yeah. All right. Start selling more long tail stuff. Sure. Yeah. I agree with that. Well, other than Christmas, everything else I'm doing long tail. So if it's like toys and I'm going to sell for Christmas, I'll put them on now. Everything else long tail it out.
Yep. It's crazy. It's like some older items. All right. Well, yeah. And again, that's kind of why I didn't know how many people this would be pertinent for, just because, again, I've got stuff I listed in 2008 that sold, and I don't know how many people keep their inventory up that long. Probably not a lot.
No. Yeah.
Probably not a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Only I could have bought something that terribly back 13 years ago.
Yeah, I think every day we're selling something from 2008 to 2010, like of each year. So 2008, 9, and 10 every day. So.
Oh, that's a killer. eBay has wiped a lot of the item specifics he put in months ago. Jeez. And that's the worst. You do the work, and then all of a sudden it does no good.
And I'm sure they don't know, or they don't care.
They don't care, I'm sure. Certain. Long tails. Sales down by 60%. Oh. Yeah. Oh. All right. Yep. See, and that's interesting with the multiple orders. Now, how are your multiple orders?
Oh, they're down as well. Yeah, they're down. The website's decent for multiples, but Amazon's up and down. eBay's been very slow, unless it's like someone out of the country that wanted something specifically, and then they might buy 10, 12 items. But other than that, USA multis are down for eBay big time.
Okay. See, and I've never done a lot of multi-orders for whatever reason. I just don't get that very often. So I'm not noticing any difference. It's terrible as usual.
I mean, do you think like eBay's going to notice this? Because it can't be just this group of 30, 40 people talking about sales being down. It's got to be the whole country, so it's something they got to know.
I did get, and here's another question for everybody out there. Did you get the 5% eBay bucks? I actually did get a 5% eBay bucks offer, which I found very, very surprising because I had gotten one, I'm guessing 3 weeks ago, and I just got one. And I always think that sales are down on eBay when they want to goose them up. They give you a 5% eBay bucks because they usually don't have eBay bucks.
I don't think I've seen it. Unless check spam or no.
Yeah, you would want to check over there, but I want to know if anybody else out there got it either. Because I don't know if they send it to everybody or if they just send it to certain people or how they're doing it. But every time I get one, I kind of laugh because I say, eBay sales are low. They're trying to get people to buy stuff because they're giving a 5% eBay bucks. It worked. I mean, I did some purchases. I would have needed to do them anyway. Now I've got enough envelopes to last to the end of the year, so I don't have to worry about that. Sure. We've been preaching, get ready for the year end and order your stuff. Yeah. Well, it gave me a perfect opportunity to do it. I was going to do it anyway. And it's like, well, why put it off a week? I can get 5% back this week.
Yeah, why not?
Might as well do it. And the prices aren't going to be going down on the stuff.
Yeah, I'd love that.
So. No. Yes, certainly you should. I believe that would fall into our main topic in about 20 minutes where we say time sink.
Yeah.
I believe 21,000 item specifics for one postcard. 19,000 which are not pertinent, and I asked for things like character, like Black Panther. Maybe a nice time, although that would be a perfect listing.
Yeah,
perfect listing, and then you get $6 out of it. It'll be wonderful.
Exactly. Oh, that's brutal.
That is bad. And a subscriber I know last week reached out to me and said that he had gone, I believe it was 48 hours without a sale, and I believe he's got about 6,000 items up, and he had gone 2 days without a sale.
I check other people that I deal with or around, Rochester that I know their IDs and stuff, and it seems like they're all down. So
25 Banker boxes of books. Yep, that's
nice.
You weren't in my garage, were you? Just wanted to check. And if you are, come back tonight. There's more boxes out there.
Yeah, I'll give you $1 a piece just for the empty bankers.
Did actually sell 2 items on Etsy.
Wow, hot.
Oh, hot like a pistol.
Yeah.
So Etsy's where all the action is.
So with the fees and stuff every month, you're making money, breaking even, losing a little bit?
Between everything, between the $1 Million Peddlers, the Vivs-Views, and the Etsy, I'd say I'm breaking even. I might be making a couple of dollars. Right. It's more just a hobby.
How much time you dedicate to it?
I list 1 item on each site per day. 5 minutes a day.
No big deal. Yeah.
5 minutes a day. I might be doing.
Half hour, sure.
Yeah, probably half hour a week. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not really doing too much, and I'm thinking of building that for the future. I think.
Sure.
And we figured out that 239 postcards is not critical mass to sell 1 a day.
Yeah.
Check back next week when I have 246, and we'll see if that's critical mass.
And progress from the website?
Not much. I'm actually
on your end or the developers end?
It's on my end.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much holding off till after the first of the year. Just I've got too much other stuff going on.
Sure.
So I figured after the first of the year, that's gonna be my goal for 2022 is try to get that website up functioning, and my goal is to have it breaking even by the time I retire, which 1.5 years after that, 2 years after that. So should be able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Glad people do appreciate the ties or notice them. So yeah, items. Yeah. Wow. Oh, those are the worst non-paying bidders.
Yeah, terrible.
Jeez. I worry every week. It gets to be the show ends Wednesday. Thursday, I kind of just, show goes up. We put up a new video on Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays are our new videos,
Right.
all that. Friday comes around. Oh, it's the weekend. And all of a sudden it's Saturday or Sunday. And I go, oh, geez, except I may not say geez. We got a show coming up Wednesday. What are we possibly going to talk about? And then amazingly, everything fills itself in.
Every week.
So why don't you talk real quick about your
the Amazon violation?
Okay. I was going somewhere else, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got a nice violation today for what was it again? It was
your shipping prices.
Well, no, that was something different.
Oh.
The electrical plug. What was it? It was a charging cable. So it was a violation. Sadly, the listing was for a Flex magazine. Muscle Man. I sent you that, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. They were. Yeah. No. They were giving examples up top of what you can't say.
Oh, is that okay?
They were giving examples.
So what did I say then? It's just a Flex magazine.
It was the worst listing I've ever seen. Nothing against you.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it said something. I'm making it up because I don't have it in front of me. But like September 1983 Flex magazine. That was the entire listing.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
It's a magazine.
Must have been old. Yeah, old listing.
Well, it's a magazine. Yeah. It is a Flex magazine. And those are the dates. And I'm pretty sure September and 1978 aren't copyright or trademark terms. So I have zero idea. That's where I sent it to you.
Catching that thing. Jeez.
Yeah, that he got a violation. Like you can't say, you can't make it seem as though like this charging cord is by Amazon if it's for an Amazon unit. You can say charging cord for Amazon unit, but you can't say Amazon charging cord because that makes it. But it's a Flex magazine, and Flex did put it out.
Yeah,
so that's kind of crazy. No, you also got, and maybe Amazon Seller 99 can help us a little bit on this. You also got a warning or a whatever you want to call it that your shipping prices are too high. And I looked into it, and you're charging $4.49 plus 50 cents per additional pound, which doesn't seem to me to be too far out of range because
on Amazon. But they tell me what the price is.
You have a default shipping in there. Maybe it's only on your new items.
I'm not really sure. I lose money on it, especially with the price hike now. I'm losing a lot on a lot of items.
Well, think about that. you're $4.49 plus 50 cents per additional pound. That means a 3-pound item, you're charging $5.49 to California.
Yeah.
If it's can't go media, you're losing your shirt.
Oh, $10 close to.
And they're telling you that you're overpriced.
On one specific item or a bunch of them?
That's like one of your shipping defaults.
So we get to tweak that and lose more money?
That's what they want you to do.
Oh,
So I said we're going to monitor it and see what maybe to default to $3.99. Who knows what it's going to default to? But I mean, again,
That's
if $4.49 plus 50 cents a pound is too much. I mean, you can't ship anything priority for
I guarantee
$4.99.
half my items I'm losing money on as it is.
If you think about it, a 2-pound item you're going to get $4.99 out of.
Right.
If it has to go priority, you're losing money.
Which most of my items do. I don't sell a lot of books. I mean, some movies and stuff, but nothing.
Yeah.
Probably like 20% of my listings are sales. Crazy.
Yep, Lewis. That makes me wonder. That makes me wonder if it isn't worth doing the scheduled, even though it does cost a dime. It might be worth doing. I don't know. I think you should probably have your guy try it and see if that works out. See if that works.
Yeah. All right. As long as you cover the shipping, I'm in. I won't throw them out. I promise.
Don't you have a room for those?
Well, yeah. We actually took some out and put some in. So kind of balancing it out.
There you go. Oh, I did get the fire extinguishers up in the basement.
Oh, nice.
So the handyman came by and did that. Can I go into a quick rambling story?
Sure.
Do you know what the Brita is?
Water purifier?
Yeah, water purifier that you put onto your faucet.
Yeah.
So my wife came home and bought one of those, and she wanted it on. And my handyman happened to come by, and I saw it sitting there, and I said, "Hey, do you mind putting this on?" And he goes, "Yeah, no problem." So he just grabbed his wrench and put it right on.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to my wife. Well, she came downstairs and saw it. She goes, "Oh, the handyman was here."
She knows.
Then a random neighborhood kid came by about an hour later and said, "Oh, the handyman was here." Now that's kind of hurtful to me.
Oh, they just know you very well.
That I can't pick up a wrench and do that. I mean, I did.
You were robbed by a nice person.
You had broke into the house and they took care of that. So that's kind of hurtful, though. To think that I can't possibly do that myself. It is very hurtful.
Crazy.
And then with the attic door we talked about last week, he's actually coming by. We're going to order a replacement door because the piece that broke off is almost impossible. Well, A, they don't sell that piece, and B, you've got about I'm going to say 1/4 of an inch clearance to get in there to work. That's probably not going to be very easy. So we talked about it and we said, why don't we just replace the whole door? That door's probably been up there since the house was built, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's not real good anymore. Pick this. Ooh, VCR.
Betamax. Yeah, we have some adult Betamax if you want to buy, Aaron.
Yeah, you can check them out. Make sure they all work.
Exactly.
Oh, did we say hi to Dawn? Did you say hi to Dawn?
I said the lovely Dawn, of course I did.
Okay, Jeez. I'm just making sure.
You just want me to say she's lovely again. I know that.
So? Couple of other things over here. Use the schedule over. Are you still looking for a property?
I'm looking for something at some point. I'm trying to put it off as long as possible. Why? Did you find something?
I may have. I went by an interesting property over on Portland Avenue that I will give you some directions to drive by and take a look at. I tried to find it online and was not able to do so, but it looks kind of interesting. It's I've actually done work for my day job back there. It's a fenced-in area, and it's got like 3 buildings back there, 3 single-story buildings back there with a garage and all that stuff back there.
3?
Yeah, it's one property.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think they might actually technically be connected,
What
but
are
they're
the size
set
of
up.
them?
I don't know.
Oh, are they big? Are they small? Smaller would I have?
I think you would like it. I think it'd be if the price is right. I think it would be perfect
I can rent
for
one
you.
of them to you. You need one soon.
I'm going to do so. Oh, so another quick thing. One of our favorite segments, of course, is low offer of the week. So I had something or other up for. I believe I'm asking $38 on it. And it's probably worth about that, maybe $35, $38. It's a nicer, older magazine. Guy makes me, now it's up at auction. I just listed it yesterday.
Yeah.
This morning I wake up to an offer from a guy, and I remember I do free shipping, $10. It's like I contacted him and I said, I'm not taking something I just listed yesterday that I want almost $40 for down for a $10 offer. You make me a $35 offer. I'm thinking about it. You make me a $10 offer. Come on, you got to entice me. This isn't, it's 2021, just got up.
I just delete it. I'm going to tell you why. I feel I'm very fair with my offers. I don't like to take half, but if I'm asking 20 on something, I'll take 15, I'll take 14 to 12, depending on what it is or how long it's been in. But I'm within 25% or more off, sometimes 40%. When I'm on eBay buying something and they make offers, I can make an offer to buy something. Like sometimes it's $1. I'll make $5 below what they're asking and they'll decline it. Like people are brutal and people expect to pay under half from me. I go, no way.
Yeah, they're asking $105 and you offer 99 or 100
and they want
say
101.
no.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of people like that.
Absolutely true. Yeah. Now the one I was gonna say is 500.
Oh my goodness gracious, yeah. I'm wondering what mine are. Mine gotta be brutal.
583 specifics every day for 1 year to finish them all. We didn't want to list anything new, did you?
Then you'll be selling 365 postcards in that time period.
That'd be really nice. So I did pick up those 2 buys in Cleveland.
Right.
I didn't try to chop the price on either of them, but that was one of my selling point with both people is I'll pay what you're asking on them.
Yeah.
It was a little dicey as to whether the deal was going to get done on the one. Only because the guy didn't even bother contacting me. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah. And then I said, well, I'm staying at this hotel. Just tell me where to go. I know you get out of work at 8. All of a sudden I get a text Friday morning at 8:05, just left. I'll be up there in 45 minutes. I said, oh, okay. Well, I guess you're delivering it to me. That makes that a lot easier.
Nice. Yeah.
So it was really, really nice. So we just went down and had some breakfast at the hotel and then went out and met them and put the stuff in the in the Rogue at that point. So that was good. Some pretty good stuff over there. I did pay high on both deals, higher than I usually do. But on the one hand, that's got value to me. The guy delivering it right to the hotel, as opposed to me trying to figure out where he is. Mm-hmm. And the other one was just some nice stuff that you don't see that often. And I'm sticking pretty solid to my prices on that because I'm into it higher, which we've got a video coming out if it hasn't posted yet, talking about how if you get a good deal, you tend to pass it along. And if you pay more, you tend to want more, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, especially like the G.I. Joes and the Barbies. You don't see them very often from the 60s, even the 50s and the Barbies. So I know they didn't like my first offer, which I thought was fair. I jacked it up even a little more and they finally took it. But again, Christmas season's coming. I'll put a higher price on it, and they don't come in my door very often. So you kind of have to jump on and pay a little more, step up to the plate, as a friend of yours says.
You just same time using the time saved by lack of sales to push it with their Shopify store. Yep. Hope to launch in January. There you go.
Nice. Good idea.
Yep. Hey, I know somebody else is doing that.
Perfect.
That would be me, by the way. If I didn't sell so many different types of items, so bulk editing doesn't work. Yeah. Yep. Although I guess you're probably a little better off than the people that just sell in the postcards and have the 20,000 item specifics to work on. Again, I'm down to just over 100. So,
okay. Nice.
And I'm flying through them because basically most of them are prints and literally you click on whatever, edit or not edit, the other one, the add item specifics, and it comes up with print right there. You just click on print and you click OK.
Wow.
So it's taking me 15 seconds per to get them done. For the ones
bad,
that I have, but it's because I only have to change one,
right?
As opposed to some people have to change, 4, 5, 6 different items, something other like that. I only have to click on one that comes up, pre-populates.
Nice.
Amazon's bots has been going wild for the last couple of years. I get about 10 or so violations per month. Most are stupid, like a hazardous material. Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting. I know you got a lot of listings. I got like 260,000, but I'm getting them daily, 1 to 5. Well, they're kicking off about 5 a day listings. I get about 1 violation a day. But my problem is I'm going back from the little health bar where it's green to at risk yellow, which I don't want to be in, especially during Christmas season. So I'm trying to delete anything that's a violation out of my inventory completely, and hopefully to help. Who knows?
So I had the 5% eBay bucks, and I realized that suddenly I needed to buy some printer paper. So I went on to buy printer paper, and it's almost impossible to buy printer paper from a reputable source on there. It was all one kind, and I don't know the kind. I don't really care what kind of printer paper I'm buying. I want something that'll hold the ink is essentially the only thing that I need on paper. So I don't need anything bright. I'm not doing anything fancy with it. It's just paper. So I clicked on the first one. I'm like, oh, that's I'm thinking usually, what do you pay? Well, you buy it through WB Mason, but what do you pay for 5,000 sheets?
Usually we try to be competitive. Like they'll price match if you tell them like Staples and stuff, and I think it's like 25 a case.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's their cheapest one that they have, but 25 a case.
Oh, maybe I got to go through you next time because I think I paid just over 30 for it delivered to my door.
Yeah.
But somebody had one up for like 24, and I clicked on it, 6 positives. I go, I don't want to buy that because I want the paper. And I'm not worried about eBay not protecting me or any of that. I know that I'll get my money back. I just want the paper.
Right. Yeah.
So then I go down to the next one. It was, 29 or something like that. 4 positives. Next guy, 2 positives, 75%, which means he had 3 positives and 1 negative. The next guy down from Vietnam. The next guy from China. I'm like, I just want a thing of paper.
Yeah.
So I finally found somebody that, has like 28,000 positives. And I know that a lot of times people will be asking about the value of positives. And there'll be a lot of times in Prime Time's Facebook group, they'll be saying, geez, do positives even matter? They did in that instance.
Yeah.
I'm not buying, because you could even tell like the pictures were all the same. Everything was the same on it, except the seller was different. So it must have been somebody or other that set up and had 8 different accounts, or their buddies had 8 accounts, however it was, all from the same guy. And they're trying to get a bunch of money in quick. And whether you get your item or not, who even knows? And so I went, the guy that I bought it from had like 98% or 99% or something like that, but he had 10,000, 12,000 positives. I said, I know this guy's at least going to send it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. So I know a lot of people don't feel positives hold value, but in a case like that, they definitely do. And I think you've run into things too with some of the Star Wars things and things like that throughout the years that you've looked at it and said, this guy's got 0 positives. I'm not buying from him.
No, absolutely not.
Hell, wow, the guy wants $1,200.
Years ago, I did, and you learn your lesson quickly. So.
Yeah. So I guess after some point, positives don't matter a lot. You know what I mean? If you have 1,000 or 1,100 or 1,500, probably doesn't make any difference. But buying for somebody with 0,
I still get people that think my positives are like too shady. With like, let's say I got 3 negatives and 1,000 positive in a month. They think that's bad. So I'm like,
oh, thank you, Amazon seller. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that over there, but
we haven't changed it in a decade. So hopefully you know how to change it or adjust it accordingly.
Oh yeah, I'll get right on that. A couple of other quick things, and we'll head into our main topic. Want to know if anybody else out there got an email? I got an email from eBay telling me that I was mistakenly charged on for something around in a category that I should not have been charged. So when they did all their changes and I got charged at $1, I guess they're going to credit me back, is what they're saying. The email gave no specifics, didn't say when they were crediting me back, didn't say how much they were crediting me back, didn't say exactly what happened. All it said, you were mistakenly charged. So I wonder if anybody else out there got the email. I did specifically get an email from eBay, though, saying that they would be crediting me back. You did not get that email?
I know of them. So it's in my spam along with the 5%.
So you may not have had any. It came in regular eBay. It came in the regular Gmail thing. It did not come anywhere else. Yeah. So you must have not been charged on anything then.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So I wonder if anybody else ended up getting that email or not. But yeah, I specifically got one right from eBay about it. And then wanted to go into one last goofy thing. If anybody out there uses stamps, I don't know if anybody out there uses stamps, but Mr. Magazine and I ran into a strange situation. Do you recall what it was on Monday?
No, I do not.
With Canada shipping?
Oh, yeah, Canada, yeah.
So basically, I was shipping something out for Mr. Magazine using stamps.com and put it in at £1, and it wasn't finding any shipping services. I said, well, that's kind of crazy. Did they shut down shipping to Canada? What's going on? So for something in grins, I changed to £2. And suddenly all the options showed up. And I was able to ship it out at £2, which doesn't matter because £1 and £2 are the same price to Canada. Right. So I shipped it out. Said, okay, great. That's kind of a weird little glitch. The next item I put up to ship out was also to Canada. Set it up for £2. Couldn't find any shipping options. I said, what the heck is going on? So I changed that to £1 and all the shipping options showed up. So apparently in a period of about 15 seconds, they disallowed £1 and only allowed 2, and then disallowed 2 and only allowed 1.
Glitching back and forth.
Kind of crazy on that over there, but wondering if anybody is using stamps on that. And you've noticed that as well from time to time on Amazon regularly, actually. Is this still going on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you sell on Amazon, a lot of times and you fulfill the items yourself, sometimes you'll go and you'll put in a pound on it or 15 ounces, say 15 ounces,
Yeah.
and the only options will be what, UPS?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And then you change it to 14 ounces or 12 ounces or 13 ounces. You
Yeah.
change the weight, and all of a sudden the post office shows up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that probably, it happens to me as well. It probably, how often would you say that happens to you?
Oh, every day there's a couple. Yeah, every day. Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you out there. If you are selling on Amazon and you do run into that glitch where the only options are UPS, try changing the weight around a couple of ounces here and there. If it still doesn't work, then you have to use a stamps or PayPal or something like that to ship it out. But how often would you say that you end up having to use a stamps?
At least once, 2 times a week. I think I give them to at least one.
So if you're getting 2 to 3 problems a day, so you're getting 20 problems a day,
Yeah.
and you hand me 2 to send out, you're able to fix 18 of them. You're
Right,
able to
yeah.
fix like 90% of
Right,
them
yeah,
by
definitely,
just
yeah.
altering the weight.
Yeah. And
So-
then even sometimes you can only go priority on items. Like there's no first, even though you can put a lighter weight in, no option for first class, only priority.
Are they paying priority?
No,
Oh,
no, yeah, that's the issue. They're paying it; it's a different story, but yeah, it's weird. Maybe once a week I'll have an issue like that. I might send it out if it's expensive, or I might give it to you if it's not. So,
put it through stamps. Right,
Yeah.
right. Crazy. You can call Amazon's account health team and they can give you some advice on how to improve your account health.
Yeah, we've done that before. So right now we're green, but I think we're in that borderline stage, which is weird because all my violations are way less than it was like 6 months ago. A lot of them have dropped off, and we've been better, like deleting the old ones out, all the violations and stuff. So we'll probably be all right, but I just don't like these new unnecessary violations coming through, especially the collectible like new in the Hess truck category. It's a brutal one. So
Yes, it is.
right.
Yes, it is. And an item pull up with someone else's pics. Oh, geez.
That's crazy.
They're still messing with some. Now that's
Gee.
really crazy. The
Yeah.
big problem I see with that is what if it sells in the meantime?
Yeah.
I mean, I go on to it. I see that. Well, here's the real problem. I go on to Michelle's item.
Mhm.
I see a picture. I buy it.
Yeah.
Then she sends me what she's selling. Then I contact her and say, this isn't what I bought. But then I go back to the listing and it's got her picture, which is exactly what she sent me. And then I'm going completely crazy going, I didn't buy this. This isn't what was pictured.
Yeah.
Yet it's pictured now. To somebody that doesn't know the eBay system,
Mhm.
I'm a buyer who doesn't know the eBay
Right.
system. What is my reaction going to be? Who did something to con me?
The seller.
Michelle did in
Yeah,
that
right,
case.
yeah.
She changed the picture
Yeah, right.
after the sale, which of
Right.
course can't be done.
Right.
But I'm going to be thinking, she
Yeah.
altered the picture. I don't know how she did it, but she altered the picture when
Exactly,
indeed
yeah.
it was just a glitch.
That's crazy.
So that makes everybody look bad
Yeah.
in that situation. And the buyer is right.
Yeah.
Because he saw what he
Well, and you contact
bought.
eBay, they're not going to know what to do.
They're not going to have any
Yeah.
idea at all. So thank you, Michelle. That's actually good for everybody to know that potentially could happen too. So that way, if one of your buyers does say this isn't what was pictured, now at least we have a clue to go on to say, yeah, maybe this is what happened. Obviously return it for a refund and everything, but okay, maybe
Yeah.
that's what happened as opposed to what's this guy been drinking? Don't text and drive, Eric. Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
good advice no matter what.
Exactly.
All righty, we're going to hit our main topic today, which is time sinks to avoid. Definitely want to have everybody out there give us some things as well that you find are time sinks. And let me ask you a question, and there's no right answer to this. Is organizing a time sink?
It depends on what to me, it depends on what I'm organizing. So I don't like paying employees to do tedious organizing when they could be listing items. Then again, I don't like to be unorganized either when we're looking for comics and you had them alphabetized and you have an employee that takes them out of alphabetical order. So then you're just throwing money out the window. But for me, I like doing certain organization things like prepping the orders for the employees. I like doing it. It's tedious, but it's got to be done. That's well worth it because I would know more about how I want things done than they would. But certain things they're too anal about that I don't want them wasting time on. So it all depends.
I think organizing, well, part of it depends upon what the purpose of the organizing is.
Yeah.
Obviously, if somebody comes by your store or I pick up at a sale 10,000 Series 1 Star Wars cards, the blue border.
Yeah.
Well, I have to organize them. I have to try to build sets out of it
Right.
because I'm going to leave a lot of money on the table if I say, "Oh, I've got 10,000 of this set or
Right.
these cards." I'm going to leave a lot of money on the table versus if I take the time to organize it down and sell
Yeah.
sets off. So in that case, organization is a good thing. But I do know there are people out there that want to organize down. Now, obviously, if you pick up a collection, you were talking about a couple of collections that have come in where everything is alphabetical order by date, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
They were collectors. They put it in that way.
Right.
Obviously, you do your best to keep it that way
Right.
because it's been done for you.
Yeah.
But if you had your employee go and do that, that would be a time sink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if nobody else is on board that he went and did it.
Right.
And the people looking for stuff don't realize
Right.
that it's an order, that kind of deal too. That could be a bit of a time sink. Any other time sinks you can think?
Here's a waste of
Go
time.
ahead.
Well, here's a waste of time that it's not like me, but I have a pet peeve about it. Is in the course of time, you've heard me complain about the boxes with the magazines in it over time when they're pulling them, they get all disheveled.
Mhm.
They could get creased, folded over, torn, and they're worth less. If you think about how many older magazines we sell and we have to give a discount once they get them because they're not in the original condition that they were when they were listed 5 or 10 years ago, that's not a lot of money for how often it happens, but I don't mind paying someone a full day's worth of work to organize hundreds of boxes. So to me, that's a waste of money, but for whatever reason, it's a pet peeve, and it bothers me that they're like that. So every now and then I'll have them fix them. I guess it makes me sleep at night or feel like we're trying to do something better with them so they don't get, destroyed in the next 5 years. I don't know.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah. And that's, I will tell you my biggest time sink, and I absolutely know this is 100% true. And I absolutely know that I've got to overcome this before I retire or when I retire. Right now, I'm hanging my hat on the fact that this is a part-time job. The day job pays my bills. And so I don't have to be efficient. I can do
Right.
what I enjoy. But I absolutely cannot be like that when I'm doing it for a living. And that's I sit down, I'm going to start listing stuff. Oh, an email came in. Let me jump over and see what the email is. And
Right.
it's not even personal emails.
Yeah.
They're business. Oh, this person made me an offer. So I jump over and I accept the offer. There, the offer's accepted. Then I jump back over to list a magazine. Oh, that person paid. So then I go down and I find the magazine, and then I print the postage and I pack it. Now I'm back to listing again, and I list another 2 items, and then somebody sends me a question.
Right.
Or I'm sitting there and the mail just came, and I go check the mail, or this happens or that happens. And it's really funny because I'm not like that. Out of everybody I probably have the least ADD out of anybody that I'm very, very focused generally.
Right.
Yet for some reason, when it comes to doing the eBay and all that, I'm not focused at all. I'm just, oh, look, shiny things. And I just don't.
Sound like some of my new employees.
And I absolutely know what I'm going to have to do when I retire is I'm going to have to say, I'm listing from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm not checking emails. I'm not doing anything during that 3-hour period.
Right.
Now I'm finding from 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock, I'm finding and packing, and I'm not listing. I'm not worried about anything except that for that period of time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it ends up being a tremendous time sink for me. And the other time sink, which we've talked about lots and lots of times on here, and I know you've got a couple of employees, at least one employee, that if you let this person do it, they would fall into this time sink as well.
Well, here's a perfect example from Michelle.
Yep.
But buy something and clean it. It takes forever to photograph. I had an employee, and I had to stop this a year and a half ago after he started. He was listing records, and he thought he was a record expert, and he played him, had an expensive needle, all that jazz. Well, he's cleaning every record. That's great. The only problem is if he cleaned every record that we ever listed in the last 10 years, we probably would have half as many records because you're spending all this time cleaning them when you should be cleaning them when they sell. So why clean 50,000 records when you only have to clean 10 a day? So like I tried to explain that to him. Leave that for the packer. The packer will clean it if needed. Now, if you're on eBay and you're taking a picture of it, which is different than Amazon, and it's filthy or dirty, well, then you have to clean that. Or even
you got to make it presentable,
right? Or if you're listing on an Amazon, and if you clean it, it's going to be near mint condition. Then you can clean something like that if it's valuable too. If you're talking about a $50 record, but if they're $5, $10, don't waste your time cleaning them. Let the packer do it when they sell. So I had to put that into his head. That's waste of time, honestly. So.
Again, another one of my biggest time sinks, without a doubt whatsoever. And it's a positive, but it's also a negative, because that's where you end up down the rabbit hole, and you have to know when to stop. Right. And that's research.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Nope.
Michelle again, she's on fire.
Research stuff forever. Set it aside and start researching something else. Never get it listed before moving on. Drove me nuts. And I absolutely, and again, because it's a hobby for me at this point, as opposed to being my full-time job, I can afford to do that. Right. I can afford to pick up the magazine and end up reading some article and say, well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Or especially you get into some of these older magazines where the title, Calliers is one that does it all the time, where it'll be like, he nearly ruled the world, or at least that part of the world. And you're like, well, what are they talking about? And then you go into it, and then you see some New Orleans gangster. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if it's a big gangster, or, I don't know if it's somebody that would sell it or not. So then I got to take his name and I search it on Wikipedia. Well, of course, at that point, if I brought the Wikipedia article up, I have to read the article.
Of course,
and every once in a while you end up finding, wow, that guy is really, really important. And, I'm going to this is my hook to sell it. This is my keyword to sell it. Right. And sometimes it does pay off, and you list somebody and you end up getting, $50-$60 out of a magazine everybody else is getting 20 out of.
Right.
But half the time, I can't find anything on the internet about this guy. I guess he was nobody that ever really was all that important other than this one magazine article. Well, I guess that's not going to be my hook, because nobody's going to care about him. Right. And now I've wasted 5 minutes researching and got nowhere on it. And
I mean, for me, when I'm paying employees now, my good employees had quit a while back. They're my best employees. They knew Terapeak. They were familiar with it. And they were listing $50 items on average, or $30, $40, $50. So it was worth the time. So when the new employees came in, we're like, well, let's teach them Terapeak. Well, ended up being a bad idea, because you can get lost in Terapeak, and they were listing, say, $10, $15, $20 items. So now we do it where, hey, if it's $50, $100, let's say my assistant manager wants a Terapeak, is one thing. But now when the employees are doing it, I tell them not to Terapeak. I'll give you a price, because here's, for example, say there's a comic book for, let's say it's worth $30. We don't Terapeak. We have no idea it's worth $30. I think it's worth $50. Put it up for $50. Well, what bad could happen from that? It's not going to sell for $50, but I put the items on sale. I take offers. So eventually it'll find its price. They'll make me an offer. Or if it's worth $100 and they put it on for $30 or $50, it'll get those bids. So either which way, when you're dealing with $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 items, Terapeak helps, but it's only going to slow my employees down for what I'm paying them in the time. They might take 10 minutes at Terapeak for a $20 item. Not worth it.
Right. Well, and that right there, that kind of ties into the whole research, the research on line as well.
Yeah.
You don't know going in what the results are going to be.
Right.
That's what the problem comes in.
Yeah.
If I knew I could find out about this guy no matter what, and it's going to help me sell, well, then it's worth researching.
Sure.
But when you go down that dead end and then you say, wait, I just wasted, we've talked about it before, when you can't find an item and you're like, okay, I've invested 20 minutes into trying to find this item.
Right.
I could put another 15 minutes into it, and there's still no guarantee that I'm going to have found it.
It's like more of a challenge. It's like, to my manager over at the warehouse, it's a challenge for him finding it, even if it's $5. Like, he feels he's saving me money, but he's cost me money when he could be doing something else. But for him, it's just a challenge. Or I want to prove my employee wrong that, hey, it's not in this box. Well, why isn't it in this box? Let me look and see. And half the time it's in the box. You just missed it.
Yeah, the keywords, I don't do those very well, which is probably why I only sell 2 items in a week. But yeah, no, I definitely could see where you could end up spending a lot of time on that. And it's so many different things. I mean, there's so many. I'll give you a perfect example. Even on Instagram, things like that. What hashtags am I going to use? What this, what that? What am I going to use for this? What am I going to use on Facebook for this? What am I going to use? What am I going to use? And you can end up sinking all of this time in there. And in the end, it probably doesn't really matter too much.
Right.
So we'll take Instagram as an example. You've been there before. You're on Instagrams most of the time on the weekends. You're on Instagram. No, one that I shoot.
Oh, that one.
On one that I shoot.
All right. I just got off Instagram.
And you're on it as we speak. And I'll sit there and I'll say, hey, this is a good thing to list or to talk about because we've not talked about it before.
Right.
But how much time do I spend on the hashtag? It's like, oh, you're holding up a Tonka truck. hashtag Tonka truck,
Right.
hashtag pressed metal truck,
Yeah.
hashtag, okay, good, it's out.
Sure.
Could I spend another 5 minutes and trying to figure out more of the best? Yes, I could. But for what I need to do, it's good enough. It got it out to people, the most likely people to find it. I can't do,
Sure.
or I'm not going to spend another 20 minutes trying to find a couple of other groups.
Exactly.
And if we miss somebody, we miss somebody. I'm sorry on that.
Yeah.
So it's that, that definitely can certainly be a time sink.
Sure. Yeah.
Save draftable sourcing. If I look up an item on eBay, it is a good buy. I click sell similar, say that as a draft. Yeah, no, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a very good idea. I always start from scratch, so not quite so good. Streamline the process for employees the better. Yeah, you absolutely have to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you watch the or if you haven't watched, you should, the warehouse series on there. You've got a lot of different things that you've streamlined throughout the years on there, because otherwise it could be time sinks, like where the people just, remember the old Dunkin' Donuts commercial, got to make the donuts and he passes himself.
Yeah.
That would be basically what your employees would be if they didn't know, or if you didn't make them sort the things in order to start with.
Right.
And I'm kind of like that sometimes, again, in my basement, where I grab a couple of orders and go downstairs. Well, I probably could grab 4 orders and go downstairs, but I grab 2 and come back, grab 2 and come back. And again, one of the reasons why is I don't get a lot of exercise. Another reason why is I also want to make sure that I'm not messing anything up and sending the wrong things out, especially on Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to grab 15 Amazon things, and because I print them when I find it, I come upstairs and I print it, and then I put the sheet right underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to sit there and get all messed up, and then you got to go back and search and go, wait, what order was this? Who ordered this? And sometimes it'd be like, oh, Bob ordered it. Well, I have 2 different Roberts. Wait, which one is the right mailing label for it? And then you end up with a time sink just trying to track down what order was what. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Definitely do appreciate it.
And there's more to come.
Oh, and hit the like button. Hey, good. Nobody even had to tell me today. A few other things over here. And I think Michelle touched on this one earlier. Definitely a time sink is things that you could do a lot of work on, but you don't end up getting the money back on. And the example I wrote down in here was you're putting up 8 pictures for an $8 magazine. You could do it. You could put up 12 pictures on every single magazine if you want to. And maybe you'll be the first one to sell that magazine. But if you're only selling it for $8 and you're putting up 8 pictures, what's the point? You're just spending a lot of time on it. You could be, you could put up 1 picture or 2 pictures, sell it for $8, and get 2 or 3 up in the time that it takes you to get 1 up.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm going to give a perfect example after I read this. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Mag, you list magazines, the address labels cut off. Well, I try not to, but it doesn't mean I won't. I had a local gentleman come in with thousands of, celebrity magazines with the address cut off. He cut them off neatly. I called up Paperboy. I said, do I really want these things? Then I get them for 10 cents each. So I said 10 cents each. And guess what? I have thousands of these magazines cut off for 10 cents each. My problem is I have better magazines to list with the mailing labels on them. So I try to put those to the back burner. And at some point we'll get them listed. It may never happen, but they will sell. I mean, especially if you have titles that no one else has or issues. So you got to discount them a little bit, but they're for readers.
Yeah, you sell them for content is what you're selling those for, as opposed to the collector, unless it's something truly rare.
Right.
Another thing that I had put down over here on the list over here is filling in every item specific.
Oh, it better be $1,000 item.
And I'm not talking about the required. I'm talking I'm not even talking about the required and the recommended. I'm talking everyone. And I know at one point, I don't know if eBay still does it or not, but at one point eBay would list or would tell you how many times, this is about a year ago. I don't know if you remember this or not. They were showing how many times people searched on certain attributes. And there were a couple of things up there. In fact, I know I told you about this because this was maybe 2 years ago, where I was saying, look, this is important for your listers to list. This isn't, because some things would say, okay, 22,820 searches on this. Okay, people search by that. That's kind of an important attribute.
Yeah.
But there were other things. There was one, and I forget the exact number. It was like 86 people searched on this. I'm like, well, why is it an attribute? If 86 people in all of eBay ever have cared about it, at that point, eBay, that's not anything. It's not an item specific that should even be an option. If only 86 people in all of eBay care about it, get rid of that item specific. So you can certainly waste time trying to make your listings too pretty
Yeah.
by sitting there and doing that. And I'm sure there are people out there. I realize pictures do sell things, but you don't need Annie Leibovitz taking the pictures for you.
Right.
You don't need perfect background, perfect this, perfect that. I mean, maybe on a $10,000 item you want it.
Sure, yeah.
But on some run of the mill, you've got a Hess truck from 1991, no box. You take a couple of pictures on it, show them what it is. Maybe if you want to, you take the battery compartment out and show that's clean. And there you go. That's listed. You don't have to worry about staging it and great pictures and all this stuff. No, it's a 1991 Hess truck, and nobody's going to appreciate that you took that long in the pictures.
The problem is, like, I have this employee. He's getting better. He's a good lister now. He's more thorough, but whatever he does, there's someone always asking a question that he didn't do. So, you take both sides of a Hot Wheels car. Can you take the front and back? You take the front back. Can you take the bottom? I think we do bottom and both sides, but then they want a front. I'm talking, it's a $10 car. We're telling you it's near mint. It's from the 80s. What do you need to see the grill for? If there's a variation, okay, but like they just want to see the condition. They don't trust that we're describing it correctly, I guess. But I said, don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. 2 pictures, 3 at the most.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You can't take 53 pictures.
If it's $25, $50, $100, like we had a remember the free Xena collection?
Yeah.
So she had a binder with 125 photos. None were signed, but they're like cost $5 a piece. So we put them up for $250. I said, you only take 12 pictures. You fold them out so you can take 2 pictures and then 24 of them.
Oh, thank you.
Look at Don. Nice.
You didn't have to do that for a banker box.
Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. You didn't need to do that. Thank you very much.
So I told him you could do the 12 pictures because it's $250 and you can get 2 photos per picture. So you got 24 of them at least out of 125. So it all depends on the price.
Well, another thing there's 2 other things I've got over here. Let's see what other people have said over here. And then we'll go into my last 2 over here. Photoshop the dust out of photos. Yeah. And exactly. And that's on a really high priced item, different story.
Yeah.
But on the run of the mill stuff, you just can't, but you can keep getting in and wanting it.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 picks move on. Yeah. Most of the time. Yeah. Yep.
Well, and I have my one magazine lister. He was doing, $15 to $20 magazines. I said, just do table of contents from now on. That's all. It'll save a lot of headaches. We're going to charge an extra $1 anyways. We're raising the prices. So 16 is now 17, table of contents, move it. That's your second picture.
There's a gentleman that we both know who is the king of preparation. Absolute king of preparation.
For listing? Just in life?
For life.
All right.
I'll give an example. This isn't a true example, but it's basically an example. He dabbled for a while in eBay and Amazon and never really did very well in either of them and absolutely hated them both. But if I were to say to him today, go back 20 years, 15 years, whenever he started listing on Amazon, you should list on Amazon. He'd say, that's a really good idea. Okay, what am I going to need? I'm going to need some shelving. And he was a carpenter and everything. He was very, very handy. He would build himself some shelving, but he would say, well, how am I going to store the things? I need banker boxes. So he'd buy 100 banker boxes. He'd measure them all up. He'd sit there. He'd set up his shelving perfectly, set that all up. Okay, now this is in this room here. Right. Okay, now he'd take the time to, mark whatever books are going to be over here. This is going to be over here. This is shelf A1. And he would make stickers up for each shelf and everything be perfect, except he'd never get around to listing anything. So he would be the king of preparation. Yeah. Absolute perfect. Set every single thing up.
He was ready for success.
Oh, he was incredibly ready. If he ever got it, then he'd list like 3 items and go, I hate this listing.
Oh, I know. I had to talk about
I hate
the guy
this
with
listing.
The truck that drives you to auctions.
Yeah. I hate this listing. I hate this stuff. Or he'd list, 20 items and nothing would sell in a week. He'd go, I'm not made for this.
Then he sells to you or me.
And then he ended up wholesaling it all out to you for less than what he paid for it.
Well, maybe he should have just built shelving for us and made his money that way. So we'd be organized and listing the stuff, and he'd make money just building the shelving instead of building it for himself and not listing the stuff. So makes sense.
But that's definitely a problem, though, where people don't realize that good enough is good enough. Right. He wanted everything perfect on stuff, but he never followed through on it. But his prep work was incredible.
Yeah. But even over the last 10, 12 years, we'd see listings over the years because, we'd always rip on some of my listers like, oh my God, that's a crap listing. People would have worse listings, very vague, and they would still sell though. We would be shocked, like, oh my God, why would someone buy that? And sometimes less is more, I don't know.
Yep.
So.
Get lost in the details. Yep. Definitely can. Like I said, this gentleman never ended up really, he wasn't successful on it. I can't sit around and do it because again, he liked building the shelves. He liked doing all that stuff. He liked setting everything up, all the logistics. He just, hey buddy, yeah, it's a great place you got over here. You've got, wow, I've never seen so much shelving and you've got one box on it. Good job.
What if he built all the bankers and they're all empty?
Something he probably would do that. They're all built tops and everything. There'll be nothing in any of them. Yeah. So, but don't allow yourself to go down that rabbit hole because again, at some point you just got to bite the bullet and just list the stuff and let the logistics catch up. Hopefully you've watched some of our videos where we've talked about inventory controls and all that stuff. So you're not quite stuck like we were, where it kind of grew out of control and we didn't have any inventories in place as far as box codes and all that stuff. We didn't have any of that. So do start that from the start, but there's nothing wrong with starting out and saying, okay, I'm starting with box eBay 1. You don't have to get any fancier than that. Maybe a year down the line, you might want to be a little fancier in how you do it. But today, get that listed. Don't buy 500 banker boxes. And this is eBay 1. This is eBay postcard 1. This is eBay comic 1. This is well, what's in all those? Oh, nothing. They're all empty boxes, but they're all made.
Invisible item.
So don't allow yourself to do that. And then the last one that I had over here, and this actually isn't so much on eBay and Amazon and that kind of thing. It's out in the real world, but you definitely run into it in the hobby. And you could certainly run into this problem with customers. And I certainly run into it regularly with dealers. The cause of the problem is the opposite for both of us. And that's people talking. You can end up, if you let some of your people, I'm thinking of one person in particular that sold you some records at one point. Mm-hmm. If you let him talk to you, you'd probably still be there talking. And he's a nice guy, but
they should know, they don't think like this, but I've been doing it a long time. I buy from lots of people daily. I know what I'm buying, and I don't want to insult them and just say, okay, here's $100, but there's some people that want to explain everything to me. Look at these great ads, look at these great pictures. And I'm buying these items for a couple bucks a piece, but they're trying to sell it to me. And I always give them the same price. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's just
and it's one thing it's one thing if you came to me and you wanted to sell me your Star Wars collection and you've got it there and you want to talk about it. That's one thing. We're talking about a big deal.
Yeah.
And we're also talking about something you've spent your entire life putting together. Sure. I certainly am going to listen because you're going to tell me a lot of things that I don't know about the collection that'll help me sell it. Sure. And B, I can tell that it's important to you.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But the things that this gentleman that we're talking about selling you, he picked up in a storage locker auction. They don't mean anything to him. So it's not like it's his life collection or anything like that. It's just he enjoys talking.
Yeah.
And I run into it from the other side. I don't know if you've noticed at times I can be a little overly gregarious.
No,
really, I can be. So sometimes I have to drag myself away because otherwise I'd find, hey, wait, I've stood here for 15 minutes talking to this dealer.
Yeah.
I've got to get on. I don't want to be rude, but I do enjoy talking with people. How are things going? How is this? How is this? How is this? Oh, what's been going on with you? And at some point I have to drag myself away, because they're a dealer. They don't have any customers at that point. They're standing there. What do they care? They're not doing anything anyway. They're standing there. They'll talk to me until the next customer shows up.
Right.
So they'll talk to me for half an hour if I want to talk to them that long, but I can't do that because I'm at a flea market. I'm there to buy stuff. I'm not there to socialize.
Yeah.
So you do have to, at least if you're a talker like me, you do need to force yourself to not do it at sometimes just because it is a time sink. It really is.
Yeah. One guy from Connecticut, I know he drove 6 hours to see me and sell me this stuff, but he was really going through every item. I trusted him that it was all there, and go through some of it. He must have spent an hour going through everything in detail, which, I didn't want to be rude. I let him do it, but, I didn't need him to do it. I trusted him with good stuff. You move on.
He's actually moved since that thing. He's in a different house now. So no idea.
The new owners got him for free.
Cool. May have done that, or
maybe they're forced to sell on eBay and Amazon now because they have all the nice shelving.
All set up nicely. And they're going, what am I doing at eBay box 7? I don't understand this. Got a few other people that are commenting. Well, let's see what else people have said, and then we'll get into the rambling story. It's so many different ways you can waste time. And to be honest with you, another time sink, honestly, and I hate to say this, but another time sink can be YouTube and all that, because you've got lots and lots of people like us out there trying to help you. Some people not even trying to help you. Some people just trying to show off whatever it is that they're doing. And good for them. But I know that a lot of people that watch us in the feed, they'll comment that, hey, I'm listening while I'm watching you. And that's perfect. It's no different than having a radio on. It's no different from, having TV on. You're not getting sucked in at that point. Or, we're on at whatever time it is now, 8:30 at night or whatever it is. You worked all day. Okay. Yeah. It's no different than putting on the basketball game. You're just sitting back. Hey, see what these clowns talk about today. That's absolutely fine. But you could also spend the entire day, which I'm sure if my friend that we were talking about earlier liked YouTube, he probably would spend all day watching YouTube videos to learn how to sell, so he'd be prepared to sell and then never actually sell. Yeah. So you have to be careful on that as well. You definitely could.
Well, I think what Don's trying to say here is another time sink is talking too much. What do you think? Moving on. You have to talk during the rambling story.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's fine. All right. I was just giving you a little taste of what happens if I don't talk. All righty. Keep those comments coming on there. We're going to get into the rambling story real quick, and then we'll hit the comments one last time on our way out the door.
I appreciate that.
No, definitely do appreciate that. So the rambling story of the week, or didn't even do that right. The rambling story of the week. So you went with
Ohio story? Oh no, different one.
No, different one.
Different one. Nice.
All right. So you went with me to Milwaukee on a deal at one point. Do you remember what they have in the airport, right past security?
I'm not gonna remember this. If you said Las Vegas, I would say slot machines, but it's not.
They do have slot machines in Las Vegas. Yes, they do. When you walk right through, and it actually caught me by surprise, and I said, "What is that even a word?" You go through the TSA, you take your shoes off, you put your bags through, et cetera, all that. You come back on the other side, you got to put your belt back on, got to grab your shoes, got to grab your jacket, got to get everything back together. Big sign up on the wall. It says it's the recombobulation area. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. My mind's not what it used to
be. Neither is the old gray mare. Because you talk about old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. Come on, work with me. That's in the public domain. I can sing that.
Oh, sure.
So you know how people say they're discombobulated?
Yes.
Well, they actually made the word up recombobulated. So you can go into the recombobulation zone.
Put everything back.
In there. And so I'm like, is that even a word? So I did a search, and the only place that word comes up is talking about the Milwaukee airport. And now it got lots and lots of press for having the recombobulation area. So now if you go to Milwaukee for some reason, the other interesting thing is if you go to Milwaukee and you happen to go into Chicago, that flight is it's not quite this bad, but it's literally, or not literally, but it's not quite this bad, but it's almost like, now the safety for this plane, make sure your seatbelts are fastened, make sure this, and we're now approaching our final descent. It's about a 20-minute flight. I mean, it's amazing to be honest.
Didn't we stay there because the engine failed? From San Diego?
That was in Chicago.
Yeah.
That was in Chicago. Yeah, we had to stay in Chicago. That's a good story. Well, I'll write that one down to tell on a different day. We'll have rambling plane stories of the week.
Fun time.
But yeah, it's hilarious on that over there. And I'm thinking to myself, and I actually had to go one time out to San Diego, and I flew into Los Angeles. They actually were bumping people up to first class for a 25-minute flight. Nice. And I'm thinking to myself, who's buying first class on that flight? I mean, treat me like a king, and now I'm done. This show and one other gives me a moment to rest and re-energize. Oh, I definitely do appreciate that. Definitely do. Appreciate everybody out there. Do hit the like button if you could. If we want to take one last run through, see if there's a lot of interesting things there, but see if there's anything else we want to comment on. Anytime I'm working, learn by listening to so many people. Yeah, that's definitely, and that's one thing that we've always mentioned as well. And I think that our show probably illustrates it better than anybody else's. And that's there's no one right way.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of people out there doing it different ways. And I don't think that the way that I do it, well, certainly the way that I do it wouldn't be successful for you. Your way wouldn't be successful for
Right.
me.
Sure.
Parts of yours I can steal and use, and parts of mine you can steal and use, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. But I don't think there's anybody out there that any person in this feed could watch and completely duplicate and do it all exactly the same. I just don't think that's possible. You've got to work it around with what works for you. And so
Right.
you watch as many people as you can, and you say, "Oh, I like what he does there. I like what he does there. I like
Yeah.
what she does there," and pick all these different things off. And I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the best thing with YouTube in general is you can pick and choose from all these different people, as opposed to how did you learn? Trial and error.
Yeah.
Trial and
Yeah,
error.
that's it. Yeah.
And you make mistakes. And what happened a lot of times, something or other would happen. You'd be like, your first call would be to me and be saying, "Are you having this problem?
Yeah.
Are you having this problem? What's going on with this? What did they do this for?"
Yeah.
Now you can go on the boards. Now you can go on YouTube. Now you can go lots of different places
Like
and
the email paper
get
boy.
answers
Yeah.
and actually get answers. And you realize you're not alone. And when your sales are low, it's not just something that you did. Everybody's sales are
Yeah.
low, and so on and so on.
Yeah, I guess that's a compliment. I'm Jerry Lewis.
There you go. I'm Dean Martin.
Mhm.
Also, I'm the.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Give us the.
Dean Martin did talk a lot after he took a shot. So yes, I see the resemblance there.
Give us the. Give us your Jerry Lewis.
And nothing.
Didn't he do lady something like, "Hello, lady"?
Good. Well, there you go. Maybe it's the other way around.
All right, everybody, hit the like button if you could. Thank you very much for stopping on by. We've got a new video posting tomorrow, so do watch that as well. And we will see you next Wednesday for the live show, 7:30 Eastern. And do check out Cha-Chingathon over with Primetime.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.